Have you ever delved deeply into Napoleon's war story? It's a remarkable tale of ambition, strategy, and power that reshaped Europe in the early 19th century.
Napoleon's rise to power is nothing short of extraordinary. He started as a low-ranking officer in the French army, and through sheer talent and determination, he climbed to become the Emperor of France. His military campaigns were not only numerous but also groundbreaking in terms of strategy and tactics.
Absolutely. Napoleon's early career was marked by his involvement in the French Revolutionary Wars. His first major break came during the Siege of Toulon in 1793, where his innovative artillery tactics helped recapture the city from royalist forces. This victory earned him the promotion to brigadier general at the age of just 24.
From there, his reputation as a military genius only grew. The Italian campaign of 1796 to 1797 is a prime example. He took a poorly equipped and demoralized French army and transformed it into a formidable force. Through a series of rapid and decisive battles, he managed to defeat the Austrian forces and their allies, securing French dominance in Italy.
The Battle of Lodi in May 1796 was particularly significant. Napoleon's daring tactics, including a bold frontal assault across a heavily defended bridge, showcased his willingness to take risks and his ability to inspire his troops. This battle solidified his reputation and earned him the loyalty of his soldiers.
Then there was the Egyptian campaign, an ambitious but ultimately flawed attempt to undermine British interests by cutting off their trade routes to India. Despite initial successes, including the Battle of the Pyramids in 1798, the campaign was marred by logistical difficulties and the eventual destruction of the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile by Admiral Nelson.
True, the Egyptian campaign showed both Napoleon's strategic vision and his limitations. His scientific and cultural ambitions during the campaign, such as the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, left a lasting legacy, even if the military objectives were not fully achieved.
His return to France marked the beginning of his ascent to political power. In 1799, he staged a coup d'état, overthrowing the Directory and establishing the consulate, with himself as first consul. This move effectively made him the ruler of France, setting the stage for his future conquests.
The subsequent establishment of the Napoleonic Code in 1804, which reformed the French legal system, was one of his lasting achievements. However, his focus remained on expanding French influence through military means. The War of the Third Coalition saw some of his most famous victories, including the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, often considered his greatest triumph.
Austerlitz is a textbook example of Napoleonic strategy. Faced with a numerically superior Austro-Russian army, Napoleon used deception and rapid maneuvers to divide and conquer his enemies. The decisive victory at Austerlitz not only dismantled the Third Coalition, but also solidified Napoleon's reputation as one of history's greatest military commanders.
His success, however, led to overreach. The Continental System, an economic blockade aimed at crippling Britain, proved to be one of his major strategic errors. It not only failed to weaken Britain significantly but also caused widespread economic hardship across Europe, turning many nations against him.
The Peninsular War in Spain and Portugal further drained French resources. Despite early victories, the guerrilla tactics employed by Spanish and Portuguese resistance, supported by British forces under the Duke of Wellington, bogged down French troops in a prolonged and costly conflict.
Napoleon's decision to invade Russia in 1812 was arguably his gravest mistake. Initially, the campaign seemed to go well, with a series of victories pushing French forces deep into Russian territory. However, the harsh Russian winter, logistical nightmares, and scorched earth tactics employed by the retreating Russian army led to disastrous losses for the Grand Army.
The Battle of Borodino in September 1812, although technically a French victory, was Pyrrhic. The heavy casualties and the subsequent retreat from Moscow marked the beginning of the end for Napoleon. The campaign decimated his army, with only a fraction of his troops returning to France.
The subsequent War of the Sixth Coalition saw a series of defeats for Napoleon. The Battle of Leipzig in 1813, also known as the Battle of Nations, was particularly decisive. Faced with a coalition of multiple European powers, Napoleon's forces were overwhelmed, leading to his eventual abdication in 1814 and exile to the island of Elba.
His return during the 100 Days in 1815 was a final attempt to reclaim his empire. The Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815, was the ultimate showdown. Despite initial successes, Napoleon's forces were ultimately defeated by the combined British and Prussian armies under Wellington and Blücher. This defeat led to his final abdication and exile to the remote island of St. Helena, where he spent the remaining years of his life.
Napoleon's impact on Europe was profound. His military campaigns reshaped the continent, leading to the redrawing of borders and the spread of revolutionary ideals. His legal and administrative reforms had a lasting influence, many of which endure in various forms to this day.
Moreover, his legacy is complex. While he is often celebrated for his military genius and contributions to modern statecraft, he is also criticized for his autocratic rule, the human cost of his wars, and his ultimate failure to establish a lasting peace in Europe.
His story serves as a testament to the heights of human ambition and the perils of overreach. Napoleon's life and career continue to be a subject of fascination and debate among historians, reflecting the enduring complexity of his legacy. His rise and fall offer timeless lessons about power, leadership, and the intricate interplay between military strategy and political ambition.
The Napoleonic era was a transformative period in European history. The ripples of his actions were felt long after his defeat, influencing the course of the 19th century and beyond. His story is a reminder of the enduring impact of individual leaders on the world stage, for better or worse.